Okay, step 4, we're going to use sculpture resin. This is the particular brand that I use, and I've had eyes that I put this particular resin on that have sat in the garage for years. I've been using this stuff since 2009, and it never yellows, so it's a really good product. There are some things that you'll need to know on how to clean up when you're making these eyes, but I'll go through the process. The most important thing is how to bring the resin into the iris. The way that I do that is I dip a needle in, gather enough of the product, and place a bead of the resin. I let this product level itself, and that's just a starter. If you need to, that dripped over the edge. When it goes over the edge like that, I just take a needle and lift it off of there, kind of scrape it. But you can also remove it with acetone if you want to start all over. This stuff is self-leveling, and it's actually a lot easier to work with than how it looks. The only tips that I have in regards to this process is to make them as even as possible. Make sure that the cornea comes out, the lens comes out evenly on all your eyes. And so I'm actually doing this on the larger size so that it's easier to see. And what I'm doing is I'm just building up that iris. However much resin you need to take off of there to have an even eye. So that's basically the way that I pull the resin off if I get too much resin on an eye, and I want the dome to be smaller, the lens to be smaller. We do that in the process of filling these, and in this set I'm almost done with all 10 of the eyes. I can tell that some of these are not going to be usable, but that's okay. I still finish up the set. Okay, specifically for the 1/12 scale, what I've done is, this is a size 12 beading needle. It's a really fine needle, and this is the one that I use to apply the resin to these eyes. And I get a little tiny bead and drop it in. It's kind of difficult to do on camera, but let's see if I can manage this. So there, I'm filling in that bowl, and I'm going to continue to do the rest of them. I did one of them here, but that's what I use for this particular size, is a size 12 beading needle, and these are available at Michael's. And what I've done is I've embedded it into a piece of Magic Sculpt just to make it easier to handle. And I use it specifically for this on the 1/12 scale eyes. Okay, now I'm getting ready to cure these, and the way that I've set this up is that I put them inside of a Sterilite container, and I use a UV inspection lamp. This has a black light in it. Any kind of UV light will cure this resin. You can also buy a manicure chamber, like a manicure curing chamber. I just happen to have this lamp. This lamp will basically, or any UV lamp will cure this resin, and I'm just setting this up for the next 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'll remove them from the Sterilite container. Okay, so now we're at the final part of this tutorial, and one of the things that I do to clean up the eyes, the lenses after the resin has cured, is I take, there's a tackiness to it. I don't know if you saw that dull up. They're cured, but there's some material still left over that hasn't cured, and it leaves a layer of tackiness on the top. What I do to clean that up is I take a Q-tip or a cotton swab, I dip it in the acetone, and it cleans right off with that, so that it's no longer tacky. And I just basically remove that layer of film that did not cure under the UV light from the top of all of the eyes, all the lenses. And then sometimes they're dull, like sometimes they'll look frosted or just kind of dull, like they're not shiny and bright. And in those instances, I use a buffing tool. I use the number 4 on this, and I just buff it out, and it brings it to a polished shine. I'll do that to any eyes that need it. In some, depending on the batches, sometimes they don't need it at all. Sometimes just the acetone alone will get rid of everything and leave you a nice shiny surface. Sometimes you do need to buff them out. You can see that they're somewhat dull. They're not like as bright as they can be. What I do to buff them out is I take this buffing block and I just run it across, and it makes them look as shiny as crystal or glass. It just brightens them right up. I just wanted to share what these eyes will look like in a sculpture. They reflect the light beautifully, and naturally they do give the impression of real eyes. And that's pretty much it. For this color, I mixed the dark brown, and I used old gold as the highlight color in the Perlite set. Best of luck to you in your doll making. Thank you for watching, and have a great 2015. I'll be back with another video in a few months. Best wishes to you.